Hello. The newspapers are dominated by a number of things, the rail strikes, but also by this story about Dame Kelly Holmes. Dame Kelly Holmes, you remember, is the Olympian winner. I think she's now 52. And only now, after all these years, after 30 years, she said, she's spent introducing her girlfriends as her PA. And part of this is to do with having been in the army at a time when it would have been illegal under British law to have come out as gay. But after so long, it is slightly shocking that somebody's been placed in this position where they have to wait for so many years to say something which is so straightforward and so simple. I remember when I was in the circle, and there was this question about whether or not I was gay, and I just thought, what a ridiculous question. All you have to do is look at my socks and draw your own conclusions. That was the view I've always taken, and so I wasn't really prepared for the whole coming out issue. After I left the circle, I was given very firm advice that it would be unwise to go back to Russia, to go back to my university in Russia, because of the laws about promoting non-traditional lifestyles to people who are under 18. This is a law in Russia which builds on the heinous clause 28, section 28, which Mrs. Thatcher put out. And so for many years it was illegal in British schools to talk about LGBTQ plus issues, which is just extraordinary, because you come across so many older teenagers who are wrestling with their identity, and at this period from the during the 1980s and early 90s, teachers were unable to offer the support that they were, the support and the inspiration that they could have offered to these younger people. And in Russia, this is absolutely the case today. But more than that, in Russia, should you transgress now because of the activism of toads like Pyotr Tolstoy, a heinous, horrible man who I met from the Duma, whose life is dedicated to peddling deceit. This man has ratcheted up the penalty for promoting gay issues from a very modest fine to between 12 and 22 years in prison. So there is no way with that threat that I would consider going back to my university at the moment in Russia, number one. And number two, of course, I am appalled by the Ukraine situation, and there's no way that I would do anything that would give the impression I endorse what Putin and his cronies are doing. I don't, and I'm very much aware of what is happening, and I think, and I will make a little video shortly about Ukraine fatigue, which I think we have to resist at all costs. We have to ensure that we are standing solid with Ukraine, and be prepared to do so, as Boris says, for the long term. As I pointed out last night, Boris has many problems, and I certainly don't veil any of those problems. But because of those many problems, he attracts attention whatever he does, and I think he did the right thing and the noble thing to go to Ukraine and draw further attention to this issue, that the West needs to be prepared for the long haul. The war in Ukraine will go on, and it's not about our ratcheting up aggression. It's about our ensuring that Ukraine doesn't run out of food, doesn't run out of the feeling that it is wanted and loved, doesn't run out of energy. Those things are more important, actually, than any sort of bellicosity that might be trumpeted by a lesser being like Liz Truss. Liz Truss needs to get off the world stage. And Boris, while he is on it, and it's only a limited time, his doom is already sealed. Boris, while he is on the world stage, needs to do as much good as he possibly can. This is one way that he can do good. Another way that he can do good, as I have suggested on many occasions, is to appoint people from the backbenches into the cabinet, so that there is a choice of charismatic individuals to replace him in the short term, but also to lead the Conservative Party in opposition. The fact that Keir Starmer is now talking about his own succession and raising the possibility that he may be forced to resign very soon, and therefore that Labour will again be leaderless, this doesn't play well for our political stability and for our future. We need to know that there is an alternative to this chaos. That will not be the Labour Party should Keir Starmer resign, and it's not going to be the Conservative Party under Boris. So what is it going to be? The Liberal Party isn't capable of running a government. So one's just looking at the hard facts. The hard facts are not positive, as indeed people looking at the future strikes this week may have concluded, and people like Mick Lynch are certainly going to take advantage of that potential chaos. So there we are, Sunday. Who would have thought it? A happy Father's Day, by the way.